Legendary Passages, Episode 59, The Fables of Love, Asterie to Oedipus, from Hyginus Fabulae. Last time we covered parallel stories from Greece and Rome. This time we cover Asterie, Thetis, and Tityus, Busiris, Stheneboea, and Smyrna, Phyllis, Sisyphus and Salmoneus, Danae, Andromeda, and Alcyone, and finally Laius and his son Oedipus. Next time, the tragic tales of the Daughters of Thebes. The Fables of Love, a legendary passage, from Hyginus Fabulae, translated by Mary Grant. Asterie. Though Jove loved Asterie, daughter of Titan, she scorned him. Therefore she was transformed into the bird ortux, which we call a quail, and he cast her into the sea. From her an island sprang up, which we call Ortygia. This was floating. Later, Latona was born there, at Jove's command, by the wind Aquilo, at the time when the python was pursuing her, and there, clinging to an olive, she gave birth to Apollo and Diana. This island was later called Delos. Thetis. A prediction about Thetis, the Nereid, was that her son would be greater than his father. Since no one but Prometheus knew this, and Jove wished to lie with her, Prometheus promised Jove that he would give him timely warning if he would free him from his chains. And so, when the promise was given, he advised Jove not to lie with Thetis, for if one greater than he were born, he might drive Jove from his kingdom, as he himself had done to Saturn. And so Thetis was given in marriage to Peleus, son of Aeacus, and Hercules was sent to kill the eagle which was eating out Prometheus's heart. When it was killed, Prometheus, after 30,000 years, was freed from Mount Caucasus. Tityus. Because Latona had lain with Jove, Juno ordered Tityus, a creature of immense size, to offer violence to her. When he tried to do this, he was slain by the thunderbolt of Jove. He is said to lie stretched out over 9 acres in the land of the dead, and a serpent is put near him to eat out his liver, which grows again with the moon. Busiris. In Egypt, in the land of Busiris, son of Neptune, when there was a famine, and Egypt had been parched for 9 years, the king summoned augurs from Greece. Thraseus, his brother Pygmalion's son, announced that rains would come if a foreigner was sacrificed, and proved his words when he himself was sacrificed. Stheneboea. When Bellerophon had come as an exile to the court of King Proteus, Stheneboea, the king's wife, fell in love with him. On his refusal to lie with her, she falsely told her husband that she had been forced by him. But Proteus, hearing this, wrote a letter about it and sent him to Iobates, Stheneboea's father. After reading the letter, Iobates was reluctant to kill such a hero, but sent him to kill the Chimera, a 3-formed creature said to breathe forth fire. Likewise, forepart lion, rearpart snake, middle she-goat. This he slew, riding on Pegasus, and he is said to have fallen in the Aleian plains and have dislocated his hip. But the king, praising his valor, gave him his other daughter in marriage, and Stheneboea, hearing of it, killed herself. Smyrna. Smyrna was the daughter of Cinraeus, king of the Assyrians, and Cencreus. Her mother Cencreus boasted proudly that her daughter excelled Venus in beauty. Venus, to punish the mother, sent forbidden love to Smyrna, so that she loved her own father. The nurse prevented her from hanging herself, and, without knowledge of her father, helped her lie with him. She conceived, and goaded by shame, in order not to reveal her fault, hid in the woods. Venus later pitied her, and changed her into a kind of tree from which myrrh flows. Adonis, born from it, exacted punishment for his mother's sake from Venus. Phyllis. Demophoon, Theseus' son, came, it is said, to Thrace to the hospitality of Phyllis, and was loved by her. When he wanted to return to his country, he promised to return to her. He did not come on the appointed day. She is said to have run down to the shore 9 times that day, and from her story the place was named in Greek Enia Hodoi. Phyllis, however, out of longing for Demophoon, died. Her parents made a tomb, and trees sprang up there, which at a certain season grieve for her death, the leaves growing dry and blowing away. From her name, leaves in Greek are called Phylla. Sisyphus and Salmoneus. Sisyphus and Salmoneus, sons of Aeolus, hated each other. Sisyphus asked Apollo how he might kill his enemy, meaning his brother, and the answer was given that, if he had children from the embrace of Tyro, daughter of his brother Salmoneus, they would avenge him. When Sisyphus followed this advice, 2 sons were born, but their mothers slew them when she learned of the prophecy. Here the text is incomplete. Because of his impiety, he now, it is said, in the land of the dead, rolls a stone, shouldering it up a mountain, but when he has pushed it to the highest point, it rolls down again after him. Salmoneus. Because Salmoneus, son of Aeolus, brother of Sisyphus, by riding in a 4-horse chariot and, carrying glowing torches to terrify the people, was imitating the thunder and lightning of Jove, he was smitten by the thunderbolt of Jove. Ixion. Ixion, son of Leontius, attempted to embrace Juno. Juno, by Jove's instructions, substituted a cloud, which Ixion believed to be the likeness of Juno. From this, the centaurs were born. But Mercury, by Jove's instructions, bound Ixion in the land of the dead to a wheel, which is said to be still turning there. Danae. Danae was the daughter of Acrisius and Agonippe. A prophecy about her said that the child she bore would kill Acrisius, and Acrisius, fearing this, shut her in a stoned wall prison. But Jove, changing into a shower of gold, lay with Danae, and from this embrace Perseus was born. Because of her sin, her father shut her up in a chest with Perseus, and cast it into the sea. By Jove's will, it was borne to the island of Seriphus, and when the fisherman Dictys found it and broke it open, he discovered the mother and child. He took them to King Polydectes, who married Danae and brought up Perseus in the temple of Minerva. When Acrisius discovered that they were staying at Polydectes' court, he started out to get them, but at his arrival Polydectes interceded for them, and Perseus swore an oath to his grandfather that he would never kill him. When Acrisius was detained there by a storm, Polydectes died, and at his funeral games the wind blew a discus from Perseus's hand at Acrisius's head, which killed him. Thus what he did not do of his own will was accomplished by the gods. When Polydectes was buried, Perseus set out for Argos and took possession of his grandfather's kingdom. Andromeda. Cassiope claimed that her daughter Andromeda's beauty excelled the Nereids. Because of this, Neptune demanded that Andromeda, Cephis's daughter, be offered to a sea monster. When she was offered, Perseus, flying on Mercury's winged sandals, is said to have come there and freed her from danger. When he wanted to marry her, Cepheus, her father, along with Agenor, her betrothed, planned to kill him. Perseus, discovering the plot, showed them the head of the Gorgon, and all were changed from human form into stone. Perseus, with Andromeda, returned to his country. When Polydectes saw that Perseus was so courageous, he feared him and tried to kill him by treachery. But when Perseus discovered this, he showed him the Gorgon's head, and he was changed from human form into stone. Alcyone. When Ceyx, son of Hesper, also called Lucifer, and Philonous, had perished in a shipwreck, Alcyone his wife, daughter of Aeolus and Aegiale, on account of her love for him, threw herself into the sea. By the pity of the gods, both were changed into birds, which are called halcyones. These birds have their nests, eggs, and young on the sea for 7 days in the winter. The sea is calm for those days, and sailors call them halcyon days. Laius. The oracle of Apollo warned Laius, son of Labdacus, that he should beware of death at his son's hands, and so, when his wife Jocasta bore a son, he ordered him to be exposed. Periboea, wife of King Polybus, found the child as she was washing garments at the shore, and rescued him. With Polybus's consent, since they were childless, they brought him up as their son, and because he had pierced feet, they named him Oedipus. Oedipus. After Oedipus, son of Laius and Jocasta, had come to manhood, he was courageous beyond the rest, and through envy his companions taunted him with not being Polybus's son, since Polybus was so mild and he so assertive. Oedipus felt that the taunt was true, and so he set out for Delphi to inquire about his parents. In the meantime, it was revealed to Laius by prodigies that death at his son's hands were near. When he was going to Delphi, Oedipus met him, and when servants bade him give way to the king, he refused. The king urged on his horses, and a wheel grazed Oedipus's foot. Enraged, he dragged his father from the chariot, not knowing who he was, and killed him. After Laius's death, Creon, the son of Menocius, ruled. In the meantime, the Sphinx, offspring of Typhon, was sent into Boeotia, and was laying waste the fields of the Thebans. She proposed a contest to Creon, that if anyone interpreted the riddle which she gave, she would depart, but that she would destroy whoever failed, and, under no other circumstances, would she leave the country. When the king heard this, he made a proclamation throughout Greece. He promised that he would give the kingdom and his sister Jocasta in marriage to the person solving the riddle of the Sphinx. Many came out of greed for the kingdom, and were devoured by the Sphinx. But Oedipus, son of Laius, came and interpreted the riddle. The Sphinx leaped to her death. Oedipus received his father's kingdom, and Jocasta, his mother, as wife, unwittingly, and begat on her Eteocles, Polynices, Antigone, and Ismene. Meanwhile, barrenness of crops and want fell on Thebes because of the crimes of Oedipus. And Tiresias, questioned as to why Thebes was so harassed, replied that if anyone from the dragon's blood survived and died for his country, he would free Thebes from plague. Then Menocius, father of Jocasta, threw himself from the walls. While these things were taking place in Thebes, at Corinth Polybus died, and Oedipus took the news hard, thinking his father had died. But Periboea revealed his adoption, and Menoetes, too, the old man who had exposed him, recognized him as the son of Laius by the scars on his feet and ankles. When Oedipus heard this and realized he had committed such atrocious crimes, he tore the brooches from his mother's garment and blinded himself, gave the kingdom to his sons for alternate years, and fled from Thebes, his daughter Antigone leading him.